Okay, Almaden Valley, what's actually going on in the market? Has the market cooled? Are the headlines true that inventory is up and sales are down? What's going on with prices? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Theresa Wellman. Today we're going to get into the Almaden Valley real estate market, but we're also going to cover a quick review of Santa Clara County and San Jose and how Almaden Valley compares, because that's always important. But we also want to look at Almaden Valley trends versus itself and going forward. So if we look at the screen here, we've got the Santa Clara County chart all the way from 2000. So I want to point out a couple things. Headlines have been saying that inventory is up, the market is really cooling. What's going on, right? So actually, if you look at this chart, you can see that yes, inventory has gone up a little bit, but it is starting to settle for fall. But relative to the history of 2020 or 22 years in Silicon Valley, we are still relatively low inventory. Yes, we are up from the pandemic years. But let's look at the demand and the sales. Are sales really cooling? How does it look? Well, year to date, sales are actually 75% of the same time frame last year. Again, pandemic sales were crazy and the market was very unique. But compared to 2019, we're right on track, just a few units off actually. So putting this all in perspective, our market is normalizing and heading into a much more normal Silicon Valley market. So how about the Almaden specific market? Well, here's the chart of history for 2015 through current. Sales were really strong in September, so that's great news. The supply actually popped up a little bit. It was heading down for the season, and then it had a little pop up. And you see Almaden in the history tends to be a little uneven as far as inventory goes, not quite a bell curve. But a big reason for that is that there's just such a small number of sales happening in Almaden Valley. So we see a lot more of those fluctuations. Now the prices have rebalanced, and the not so good news is even though San Jose and Santa Clara County are up year over year, Almaden Valley prices are not. They are still down year over year, but they are up significantly from pre-pandemic. If we look at just September 2020, so 2 years ago, we are up over $200,000 in home values, but not, as you see this blue line here, not up from 2021. But it's not all doom and gloom. Let's look a little bit at the actual data. So the median price in Almaden Valley is $1.94 million, which is up slightly from the previous month, but again, down 5% from the same time in 2021. Prices have adjusted with those interest rates, the stock market. Yes, a little bit of increased inventory, but really it's those other financial factors that are really affecting the market. We still have 50% of homes in contract, which is a really strong number, and homes are selling in Almaden Valley very close to list price. In San Jose, the average is slightly above list price. In Almaden, it's slightly below. Days of inventory is 38, so just over a month of inventory. Still, again, a very healthy market, not so bad. Closed sales were way up and very strong in September, like I pointed out earlier, and the pending sales were slightly down, but still doing decent for season. So stay tuned if you want to hear a little bit more about my predictions, and I've got some other videos that are going to dig into that. So if you want to check out an entire historical study of what is a normal market and what markets look like in Santa Clara County and San Jose specifically, definitely check out my video for last week. I'll put a card up above and put the link in the description below. Going back to home values, I don't want you to be depressed that, yes, I mentioned you have a profit of 2 years ago, but if you bought a year ago, there was a lot of different factors like interest rates and stuff that are making it monthly about the same if you were a home buyer. But if you're a home seller, most likely you've been in the home at least 7 years. That's what I always recommend to my buyers. And if that's the case, I did some math. Even with the decrease that we've seen in the values in Santa Clara County across the board, if you go back 7 years, you still have over $700,000 worth of appreciation. And that does not count what you've paid down on your mortgage and things like that. So this is just pure average price appreciation in the area. So pretty significant, definitely. So even with the softening market that we're seeing in Almaden Valley, if the numbers work out for you, if you've got some nice profit and you can make a move to where you want to go, it is still a great time to sell because inventory is not that crazy high. And really the inventory right now in Almaden Valley is really weighted to the high end, over $2.5 million. So if you're selling a larger home, Pricing is going to be really important, and you need to look at the differentiation of your property versus the others on the market. But if you're in the lower end of Almaden Valley price point, there is just a real shortage of inventory in that area. So we definitely could use some fresh inventory. Now let's look at those interest rates. They continue to rise. I'm sure you've heard it on the news, but what I want to tell you is buyers are considering adjustable rate mortgages, especially in Almaden Valley. Most buyers are getting a jumbo loan. There's some great adjustable rate mortgages, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, that make it more affordable. Something else that's going on is buyers are negotiating with sellers to pay points to get that monthly payment down, saving them a little bit on the interest rate to make it more affordable. A $10,000 points credit to the buyer is a lot less than, say, taking a $50,000 or $75,000 hit on your price. So it's working out as a win-win for both buyers and sellers. Now let's look a little bit at the market momentum and what I expect going forward for Almaden Valley. So typically the fall is fairly quiet. You can see that 2020 and 2021 falls were not anywhere near that. They were really strong. And the biggest reason is I circled this pink here. It's because that's when the inventory or the homes sold was more than the homes available for sale. So we were really at an extremely short inventory supply. Back then, the numbers did flip this summer as interest rates changed and prices had to adjust. But as you can see, those two lines are converging together again. So if those numbers get really close or cross again, this market is going to heat up. And I don't know if that's going to happen this fall, if it's going to happen this spring. But the Almaden market is really healthy. We are not in an extreme situation where there's so much inventory sitting. So it is a great time to make a move if that is something you're looking at. Now, I would love for you to watch the full San Jose market update video to get a bigger perspective. There's just much more statistical data to really understand what's going on in the market when you look at that larger area. And if you're looking to buy in Almaden Valley, you should definitely check out my Almaden Valley schools map. I'll put a link to download that in the description below. Thank you.